Hi guys, it's Adrian Brown and welcome to today's Facebook Live. It's a special one today because today I'm talking about the contribution revolution. This is something that's been forming, if you like, for the last 5 years of my life, because it's something that I realized existed after I'd had some catastrophic things happen to me in my life, but also realizing what had worked in my life and the experiences I had going before. And after I'd dislocated my shoulder and had to have the surgery and I was stuck for 6 weeks thinking about things, this idea of the contribution revolution started to form. And now it's come into full form now. And I want to talk about it today so people really understand what it means. You know, because we've been going through all these Facebook Lives over the last few months and going through sort of the oxygen to develop your growth, what follow-up was all about. We talk about the customer journey. We've been talking about your current reality and goal setting, changing habits of a lifetime, setting up the expectations for change. We've been talking about taking the right action. We've even been talking all about the resistance to action and resistance to change. So there's lots of things been going on. Hi Sarah, great to see you here. Love to have you on board today. So today it's all about the contribution revolution. And what does that mean? What is the contribution revolution? So the contribution revolution starts with you. It's all actually, it starts with you, it's about you, and it's what you are in your business that allows the contribution revolution to happen. And so to start thinking about this, let's think about for a moment when there's a crisis. What happens when there's a crisis? Hi Jane, great to see you on board. So when there's a crisis, what happens is people self-organize. They actually come together to solve what is obvious and a very simple problem. So a bridge collapses, so everyone gets together to try and sort that out. Or there's a fire, people try and get people safe. Or there's a drought, people start to bring water. Something happens, some crisis happens, and people naturally organize themselves, find out who can do what, and they organize themselves to solve the problem. But that happens in a crisis, and that's part of our DNA. We're naturally sort of pushed to go and sort that out as quickly as we can. But here's the thing. Crisis isn't happening every day. So how do we self-organize on a normal basis? How do we actually get ourselves to come together and start to work together on a natural basis? See, the problem is most businesses, and most of us, I'm in my 50s, right? But people who are sort of over 35, 40, we grew up in an era where businesses were managed purely by command and control. There was a guy at the top telling the guy at the bottom what to do. And that got us so far. But not only has business changed, people have changed. Everybody's like different now. Hi Richard, hi Mark, welcome aboard. Everybody's different now because people have different ideas and they want to be able to do something with those ideas. So we have the situation today where you may be working for a guy who's your boss, but actually, do you know what? He is maybe not as smart as you in the area that you're brilliant. So actually you're stopped by demonstrating how brilliant you are because of the person above you not being able to cope with your intelligence, your brilliance, your skills, your superpowers. So what we end up with is the command and control limiting the ability of an organization to function really well, or a group of people, maybe just 2, 3, 4, 5 people. That's an organization. So if you're in a command and control situation, you're trying to tell everyone what to do, you're trying to predict what's going to happen, you limit the ability of the organization. And the thing is that human beings need to contribute. I'll talk about that a bit later on, but human beings were naturally programmed to contribute to people around us. And this other thing that goes on in the world, and I keep coming up against this, and I just think it's incredulous, that so many people go, oh yeah, but you can't find good people. You can't find people that are capable. Well, actually, sorry to use a little bit of profanity, that's bollocks. There are loads of good people out there. What you haven't done is create an environment that's going to attract them. So you've got to work on this thing called the environment. Now, you're time-starved. So many people out there in business are time-starved. We've got too many things to do. We're overwhelmed. And remember, we did something about taking action when we talked about, you know, lots of people can add, lots of people can multiply, but how many people can subtract stuff away to focus just on the important things that they need to do, not other people? And we have so much interference and distraction out there, it's unbelievable, you know, and there are so many problems to solve. So there's interference, there's distraction, with time poor, we can't find good people, but we need people to contribute, we can't find them, and we've got to control it all from the top. But why is that? Why do we have to control it all from the top? Well, the first myth I want to bust here is that nobody understands your business like you do. Even the people who work for you, you know, you're the only one that understands it. Well, that's rubbish. You know, other people understand your business probably better than you because they have a different perspective on it. Now, it may not be better, but it's definitely different. They will have a different insight, a different perspective on how your business is working and what it needs to do to grow forward. Or that other myth is no one can do it as well as you. You're the only person that can take on that job because you're the only person that knows how to do it properly. In the service industry, that was such a really repeating thing. And then you get into that whole world of micromanaging people and, you know, middling on what they're doing and telling them what to do. But it's your mindset, you the owner, the leader, your mindset that controls what happens in your business. You are the person in control. Now, what does that mean, leader? Well, the leader is responsible for the relationships. You are the holder of the relationships of your business, because your business, whether you are a one-man band or you are a 150 employee company, your business is basically a network of symbiotic relationships. Now, if you're a one-man band, your relationships are with your customers or with your contractors that may supply different things to you. If you've got 150 people, your relationships are everybody who works for you, right? But it's a combination. Your business is a network of symbiotic relationships, and how those relationships integrate and work together is going to determine the success of your business. However, what about you? This environment, well, you are responsible for the environment that holds those relationships, and guess what? You, personally, you as an individual are responsible for about 80% of that environment. Yes, you heard me right, 80%. You can have beautiful offices, you can, you know, have away days, you can do all that wonderful stuff, but actually your environment that your business is controlled by you, and you are 80% of that environment. So if the environment's not working, there's only one place to look. So let's look at these relationships. Now remember, we talked about relationships in an earlier video, but relationships are made up of a purpose and a dynamic. So the purpose is the one-to-one relationship, the purpose of your relationship with that person and the purpose of their relationship with you. But the purpose is generally about relationships, is in some way in the business to elicit all of the skills, talents, knowledge, abilities of the other person to help you deliver the project, the process, the business, the solution, whatever it may be. And their purpose of their relationship with you as a leader has to be guided by you, not told by you, but guided by you, directed by you, shown by you, encouraged by you to bring on your skills and talents to help solve the problem. And then we have the dynamic. So what is this dynamic? Well, the dynamic is the environment predominantly that allows the processes, the systems, the interactions that are needed to make that relationship work. And again, you are 80% of the environment. So what's this environment made up of? Well, first of all, you know, we've talked about purpose, vision and values. You know, the direction your business is going in. That's a really key part of the environment. People need to know what's happening and where it's going, because otherwise they can't contribute. I was speaking to a lady today, and there's a challenge she has right now that she's working on. And we've done some work together. And she said, oh no, but I've got to find the people. I said, no, don't find the people first. It's not about finding the people. That is not the difficulty. The difficulty is being able to describe what it is you're doing in such a powerful way that people know that they can come and contribute to you. If you just go out and look for people and think it's going to happen, no, you've got to decide what it is you're trying to achieve and be able to describe it in such clear terms that people will naturally want to come and be part of that game. So that's the first part. The second bit is defining how you want people to behave in that environment. This is a really, really important piece of the pie. Because if people don't know how you expect them to behave, then they don't know what to do. They're going to make it up for themselves. So there has to be these real clear guidelines in there to really make that happen. If you walk into the room and you think you're the brightest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Seriously. Because I don't want to surround myself by people that don't know as much as me. They may know less than me in certain areas, but they're going to have something that they're going to be able to contribute to me. That's the whole point of creating an organisation, because you bring in all that knowledge. I'm sorry for a bit of noise outside. Somebody started a mower. I hope that's not too distracting. Purpose is the direction of the business, what is going to happen. Then it's the how, the behaviour, how you want people to behave. And then the last part of the environment is the what. The systems and the processes that you can actually use to deliver your transformation to your customer. So if you get all of those pieces right, where do you do it now? Well, what do you do? Well, you can't do it all on your own. You have to rely on other people to help you with the process. If you're a one-man band on your own, just realize that you're not doing it on your own. If I'm a one-man band on my own, guess what? I'm taking advantage of the wonders of Facebook. That's not something I could do on my own. I'm taking advantage of my Acuity booking system to book calls with me. I'm taking advantage of Active Campaign to handle my CRM. I'm taking advantage of the amazing Andrew Palmer to take care of all my IT systems in the background. So you're using different people to do different things for you. So there's no such thing as a one-man band. It just doesn't exist, especially in this technological world today where we have access to so many different tools. I mean, somebody asked me in a different Facebook group this morning about what dictionary do you use? Well, I'm chronically dyslexic. So actually I use Grammarly, much to Wendy's joy, because it means that she doesn't have to panic so much about the things I write. But, Grammarly helps me communicate better. So I'm using that. So that is making a contribution to me. So we never do it on our own. We've got to do it with other people. But we have to let these things in and let people in to help us. Because every human being is programmed to contribute. Just think for a minute. You are programmed to contribute. What you do every day is you make a contribution to somebody else. Now, who do you contribute to? Or what do you contribute to? You contribute to things that are important to you, that matter to you, where you believe you can make a difference. We want to contribute to things where we believe we can make a difference. Why do volunteers go and volunteer for charities and organisations like that? Because they know that they can take their skill, their knowledge, their ability and make a contribution to that organisation. That's exactly the same as employment. It's just when you're volunteering, you're not getting paid for it. So when you're working for somebody, you're getting a financial reward for your contribution. Otherwise, but it's still the same contribution. So if an organisation, instead of asking people to contribute, just tells people what to do, I'm not going to get a chance to contribute here. Or I'm just going to get told what to do the whole time. I'm going to be treated like a bit of machinery. I don't want that, so I'm going to leave. People aren't going to come and work for you if you treat them like that, so you're not going to find good people, because good people today realise that they can find jobs where they're going to be able to make a contribution. And the thing is that when you contribute to something that matters to you, and that you know you can make a difference, there's a vital part of the puzzle that has to be there to complete it. And that is, you have to be appreciated for your contribution. If you're not appreciated for your contribution, are you encouraged to contribute again? You only contribute when you're contributing to something that shows its appreciation back to you. That's a human nature. That's part of our DNA. We can't get away from that. And here's the thing. If you get that right, people will always want to make another contribution. People will always want to do the next thing. They will always want to be able to show their ability to contribute to you and do something of value that's going to help you grow and develop. So what are the things that we're sort of getting into here? Well, as a leader, to make this contribution revolution happen, you have to put some things in place. But the key thing that I think you have to have is you have to really be clear about what are the standards you are setting for your business to run. What are the actual standards that you're setting? And you've got to be exacting about that. You've got to demand that people live up to those standards. And by the way, when you create those standards or guidelines or rules, whatever you like to call it, and you invite people to come and play that game, and you stand there and you keep those lines and net standards in place. You may have heard me talk about the tennis court before, but if you stand for the tennis court, if you stand for the rules, the regulations, the guidelines of how you want your business to run, and allow people then to contribute within that space, they're going to have a place where they belong. They're going to have a place where they know they can come and contribute, and they know it's going to be appreciated because you are going to be that person. And if you get that bit right, then what you can do in that environment is very simple. And I think there's probably 6 steps of doing, or 6 steps to apply to really make the contribution revolution work in your business. That's once you've worked out your purpose, your vision, your values, and your behavior standards and what it is you're doing. Once you've got that in place, the first step is clarity. You're giving the people who work with you a real sense of clarity about the purpose of your business, the direction it's going, which enables them to know what they can contribute. They can consciously see what they can contribute to your business. The second thing is about developing your relationships to such a level, and if you see my relationship model, it goes from 1 at banter to 6 resource. You want resource level relationships where people really believe they can contribute to the overall game you're playing. They're going to be your role models. They're going to be the people who are there by your side helping you grow and develop it because they know where you're trying to take it. When I coach an individual, when I'm working with an individual, that's the level of relationship I have. Because I know when I'm working with someone, I am being a contribution to their business. That's my job. It's to contribute my insight, my knowledge, etc., to help them develop their business. I'm not telling them how to run their business. I'm helping them grow and develop the foundations for their business. Hence why I talk about creating new foundations for growth. Because at that point, they can then add on and grow and expand to the business they want to be. The next thing, and we did about delegation the other week, the next thing is then being able to delegate effectively and all the process of delegation. And the final part of it is, or the next part of it is then appreciating people for their contribution and doing it privately and publicly. Privately, because in that moment you can be really intimate with somebody and really tell them the difference that it's made to you. Their leader, the person that's created this environment, they can actually understand the difference they've made to you. And the other thing is the mower stopped. That's good. Sorry for you. That was a bit noise controlled there. I do apologise. I couldn't do much about that. Sun's come out, so hey, people mow their lawns. So you've got to be able to appreciate people intimately by saying, thank you for what you did, and the difference it's made to me is this. Then they really understand what difference they've made. And then it's about getting out of the way. And this, I think, is the hardest bit for some people, is how do you get out of the way? How do you get out of the way and let people do what they do? I'm just going to shut the window. Once you've got the clarity, the relationship right, the delegation part right, the appreciation part right, and you've got out of the way, thank you, you've got it, the sound's better. At that point, when you've got those 5 elements in the way, what do you do next? Well, now it's up to you to rinse and repeat. It's to repeat that process. And you repeat that process with individuals, not with a whole group. You actually do it one by one, or maybe a couple at a time, to really engage them, to understand what they can contribute to your business. You create the tennis court in a way that's really personal to them, so they really understand how they can come in and support, engage, and contribute to your business. And even if that contribution is challenge, because you don't want everyone to just be yes men, you want to give people a way that they can challenge you to help you grow your business, because that's just as important as well. I think it's such an important topic that I really wanted to go into depth with it and really get you to understand that this contribution revolution is something that you are in charge of. You can create the environment that allows all of your people to contribute their best talent, their best skills, their best knowledge, their enthusiasm, their passion, their power in service of your business. If you create that environment, you're really clear about what you expect from them, you set the relationships, you give them the tasks, you delegate the tasks and the roles to them, you show your appreciation for them, and then you get out of the way. That's the important part, because then what you're demonstrating by that is that you trust that they understand you and your business, and you trust that they're going to do their best and really make the difference. Because if you are able to stand back, be quiet, and let somebody get on with the job, and when they finish go, hey, good job, the encouragement that that gives to that person is enormous. And I've been working on my book title recently because I'm in the process of writing a book. Last year I wrote the Perfect Customer Formula, the online course, which I know some of you may have done, and I'm in the process of writing the book, which is sort of coming from the content of the course. And we've been working with Wendy, who used to work at Wiley Publishing, on the title. And we think we may have got the right title today. And the title has the word nice in it. And it's actually going to probably be Nice Guys Can Win Too. because there's a lot of brutality in business. And if you look at the range of business people, there's very timid people at the bottom that don't really do a lot. Then there's some wimps maybe, and then at the top there's the bullies and the psychopaths. And we hear about those in the news all the time. We've got a president or two in different countries being that, and all sorts of different business leaders have done that sort of thing. But in the middle is the nice guy. And the thing about being the nice guy is, and it's a lesson I've learned recently, it's actually a job. It's a role. There's a purpose to being a nice guy. And the first thing you have to do is to be really clear about what your standards are. What your standards are for business, for you personally, for your relationships. And then it's about nurturing those relationships. It's about inspiring people to perform to those standards. It's about challenging people when they don't and helping them and encouraging them to get back to standard. That's what a nice guy does. Nurture, inspire, challenge and encourage. So please join me in being the nice guy in your business. Really work at getting that contribution revolution. Have confidence in the people you've got. They're great people, even if it's a virtual assistant or a PA or something like that that's outside of your business. They can help you. They can help you grow your business, and they will make a massive contribution to you. So thank you for listening today, guys. I'm sorry it's gone on for a bit longer because I really want to make that point to you, and I really want you to think about what it is you can do to stimulate the contribution revolution in your business. See you next week. Bye for now.